After completing all these, Wang Lin's eyes flashed, and his right hand swiftly reached into the pill formation, heading straight for the 3 pill bottles. At that very moment, the formation suddenly erupted with a bright light, illuminating the entire cave mansion. A destructive aura spread out, about to strike at the pill bottles. But instantly, this destructive aura seemed to halt, as the light within the formation was guided, flowing along the fine threads connected to the formation, and surged into the diamond-shaped formation inside. In that brief pause, Wang Lin had already grabbed the 3 jade bottles, quickly retracting his hand and pulling them out. He stepped backward and, in the blink of an eye, had left the cave mansion and appeared on the grass in the valley. Sitting cross-legged, Wang Lin's gaze fell on the 3 pill bottles, his heart pounding wildly. He had just taken a huge risk. Had there been the slightest mistake, these 3 pill bottles would have shattered, and the pills within would have vanished without a trace. The pills left by Sima Mo and his fellow sect members, stored in such a manner, are clearly extremely precious. Wang Lin licked his lips and opened the first pill bottle. A medicinal aroma filled the air. Inside the bottle were 3 red pills, releasing intense beast soul fluctuations, spreading around and even attracting Wang Lin's primordial spirit. He poured out 1 pill, pinching it between his fingers and examining it closely. 11th rank pill? Wang Lin faintly recognized it, and after pondering for a moment, he took the 2nd pill bottle. As soon as he opened it, a large mist poured out, separating into 2 parts, 1 black, 1 white, entwining, and eventually dispersing, floating in the air. Within each mist, there was 1 pill. 12 rank mist soul pill crafted by a mist beast. Wang Lin's eyes gleamed with joy. He had only recognized the 11th rank pill by feel, but the 12 rank mist soul pill created from a mist beast was extremely rare in the Cloud Sea Star domain. Its characteristics were striking, and he immediately recognized it. The mist soul pill was rare precisely because few would forego the long-term benefits of obtaining primordial crystals to craft pills from captured mist beasts. Wang Lin licked his lips again, his gaze falling on the final pill bottle. He scanned it with his divine sense but couldn't discern anything. After a moment of hesitation, he slowly removed the cork. Just as the bottle cracked open, an unimaginable wave of energy surged out, accompanied by a terrifying roar that his ears couldn't hear, but his divine sense could distinctly feel. The roar surpassed even the 12-rank beasts, shaking the heavens and earth. Wang Lin's body trembled, and without hesitation, he sealed the bottle as fast as lightning. All this happened in an instant. After sealing the bottle, Wang Lin's face turned pale. He took a few breaths to recover, looking at the bottle with a solemn expression. 13th rank pill. Wang Lin took a deep breath and cautiously stored the 2 pill bottles, keeping only the first one and heading toward the cave mansion with the alchemy furnace. 11th rank pills could only be consumed by cultivators who had reached the mid-shattered nirvana stage. Otherwise, their primordial spirit would not be able to resist the soul of the beast inside, resulting in the extinction of the primordial spirit and death from ingesting the pill. This was well known to all cultivators in the Cloud Sea Star domain. Pills could help enhance one's conceptual realm, but they had to be used with extreme caution. Wang Lin's actual cultivation, excluding the ancient god physique, was only at the early pure nirvana stage. He couldn't directly consume the 11th rank pill. Therefore, it needed to be refined again. Inside the cave mansion with the alchemy furnace, Wang Lin pondered for a moment. His left eye flickered with flames, and immediately fire spread out, merging into the massive alchemy furnace. The furnace shook, and a mark appeared on it, slowly beginning to rotate. Taking out one 11th rank pill, Wang Lin placed it into the furnace. He waved his right hand in the air, and the flames in the furnace surged, continuously refining the pill. Secondary pill refining was a method that cultivators in the Cloud Sea Star domain had to master. This method mainly involved dispersing the power of high-ranked pills. The quality of the alchemy furnace was closely related to how much of the pill's effect would dissipate. The better the furnace, the less the effect was lost. As Wang Lin refined the pill, deep within the 7-colored realm, far beyond the location where Sunzi was healing, the mist grew even thicker, obscuring everything around them. In the depths of this mist, there was an altar, shrouded in mist and blurry. Suddenly, a flash of light appeared on the altar, penetrating the surrounding mist and pushing it outward, revealing a wide open space. A crack, about a yard long, silently appeared on the altar. Electric light danced along the crack, and it gradually tore open wider. 3 figures walked out from within. These 3 individuals wore clothing different from the cultivators of the Cloud Sea, and what was even stranger was that they all had a clear mark on their foreheads. The man in front had a lightning bolt in his forehead, while one of the youths behind him had a crescent moon mark, and the last person had a flame totem on his forehead. Is this the spatial rift you discovered? The youth with the crescent moon mark on his forehead looked around, a hint of excitement flashing in his eyes. A streak of white lightning drilled out from the statue beneath him and merged into the colorful mist, fusing with his essence spirit. Gradually, Sunzi's body solidified, and he actually reformed his physical form. The body emitted a radiant glow in 7 colors, with flashes of lightning flickering. At the center of his forehead, a faint lightning mark appeared, barely visible. He suddenly opened his eyes, revealing a dark and ominous gleam. Driven to this point, I had no choice but to take this step. If I don't avenge this grudge, I swear I won't remain human. With a single leap, his figure transformed into a streak of lightning, darting forward. In the blink of an eye, he pierced through the mist and shot towards the mountain range. The man surnamed LV was injured by my 7-colored nail. Even if he's not dead, he must be at death's door, but I don't know where he's hiding. However, this matters not. I'll find him, as easy as flipping my palm. Sunzi sneered. As he moved forward, he reached out his right hand into the void, and a storage rift appeared. A bead flew out from within it. Summon, rebel practitioner. Sunzi bit his tongue and spat a drop of fresh blood onto the bead. Instantly, the bead absorbed the 7-colored glow of the heavens and earth before collapsing. As it shattered, an overwhelming aura spread out, and a shadowy figure materialized between heaven and earth. The figure was blurred, but its eyes shone with clarity, as though nothing in the world could escape its gaze. Locking eyes with it gave the sensation that one's body was completely exposed, as if all secrets had been laid bare. Where is he? Sunzi stared at the shadowy figure and asked in a deep voice. The figure closed its eyes, and after a long while, slowly opened them again, turning to look at Sunzi. A tremor surged through Sunzi's mind as an image forcibly pressed into his consciousness. Upon seeing it, he furrowed his brow. Simamo's cave mansion. Even in his heavily wounded state, he still broke through the restrictions of the cave mansion. After pondering for a moment, Sunzi's eyes flashed with cold light, and he sped off towards the location. In the valley where Simamo's cave mansion was located, Wang Lin hadn't focused all of his attention on alchemy. Instead, he had first cleared the first cave mansion and set up a large number of restrictions within it. After expanding the cave mansion's area, he opened the storage dimension and released the mosquito beast. The purple mosquito king now appeared more ferocious, and as it flew out, its cold, unwavering eyes met Wang Lin's. It shared a mental connection with him and was already aware of his plan. It let out a soft screech. After a moment of silence, Wang Lin waved his right hand, and the purple mosquito king was sucked into the cave mansion's restrictions. With enough primordial crystals, it won't be harmed. Wang Lin took out a large amount of beast souls he had acquired along his journey through the Cloud Sea Star domain, as well as the mutated beast souls he had cultivated on the Moro continent. He placed them in the cave mansion and then pulled out several 10,000 primordial crystals, which he placed onto the restrictions, sealing the place. By using the 5 poison sects method to refine the mutated beast souls, I can forcefully enhance the mosquito beast power and make it evolve into a stronger mosquito beast king. Only this way can I control the vast numbers of mosquito beasts in the Wind Immortal realm. Wang Lin spread his divine sense throughout the cave mansion and clearly saw the purple mosquito charging toward each beast soul, fighting and devouring them one by one. At the same time, the primordial crystals in the area, activated by the formation, transformed into dense primordial energy and merged into the mosquito beast body. After leaving behind a trace of divine sense to monitor, Wang Lin fell silent for a moment before heading to the location of the alchemy furnace. Sitting cross-legged by the furnace, Wang Lin manipulated the flames, refining pills. Time passed slowly, and 2 days went by in the blink of an eye. The flames in the furnace gradually subsided, and the medicinal aroma filled the air. Wang Lin's expression remained calm as he reached forward and grabbed the lid of the furnace, causing it to lift with a loud crash. A dense mist poured out from the furnace, and as it slowly dissipated, a pool of golden liquid floated in midair. With a subtle motion, Wang Lin drew the liquid toward him, storing it in 3 small vials. Taking a deep breath, Wang Lin looked at the restriction veil outside the valley, then picked up one of the small bottles and took a sip of the golden liquid. As it entered his body, it transformed into a cool, flowing energy, circulating throughout his entire body. Faintly, a beastly roar seemed to echo in his ears. Wang Lin closed his eyes and began to breathe slowly, silently absorbing the beast soul's understanding of the laws of heaven and earth from within the medicinal liquid. In that peculiar state, Wang Lin lost track of time. His mind spread out as if it were following the rules of the heavens, and he seemed to become a fierce beast, enduring countless struggles for survival. In the process of seeking, he verified his own truth and illusion concept, constantly separating various Dao concepts from the chaotic beast soul's insights. Outside Wang Lin's body, the environment around him seemed to distort, rapidly changing, making everything feel unreal. After some time, Wang Lin extended his right hand and took another sip from the small bottle, sinking once again into his search and comprehension. Gradually, the Dao concepts surrounding his body multiplied. If he wished, he could freely choose the insight of a fierce beast to improve his cultivation. However, doing so would cause his Dao heart to become chaotic. After all, the insight wouldn't be his own, but borrowed from the beast soul. Such cultivation was something Wang Lin would never seek. What he desired was to continually affirm his true and false self through the clarity in the beast soul, contemplating the path of heaven amidst the truth and falsehood. What he chose was the subtle thought born from heaven and earth within the beast soul. This was the essence of the fierce beast soul. Though the thought was vague, the more it contained, the more it deliberately pushed the fierce beast to break through its rank, ultimately transforming into human form. Time passed, and Wang Lin had already consumed the entire first vial of medicinal liquid. His insight continued, and the distortions outside his body gradually spread, enveloping the entire valley. If anyone were here, they would experience a chaotic Dao heart because the distortion in the valley contained countless insights born from heaven and earth, abandoned by Wang Lin and separated from his Dao concept. Without falsehood, truth cannot manifest. Without truth, where is falsehood? Truth and falsehood, in fact, need not be completely distinguished. Wang Lin picked up the second vial and took a large gulp. His eyes revealed clarity, and he closed them again, continuing his affirmation. Gradually, as his insights continued, countless Dao concepts spread throughout the valley, eventually piercing through the restriction veil. They lingered outside the valley, causing distortions in the surrounding space. This scene was invisible to the naked eye, but any cultivator at the spirit transformation stage or above would immediately sense the Dao concepts within. Each one was a manifestation of the laws of heaven and earth. It appeared true, but upon closer inspection, one would realize it was false. This blend of truth and falsehood was difficult to distinguish, and once immersed in it, one would fall into an abyss from which escape would be impossible. The chaotic Dao concepts grew more numerous, spreading in all directions. In an instant, they covered 1,000 zhang radius, causing the very heavens and earth to twist. Inside the valley, Wang Lin consumed the third vial of medicinal liquid. He completely forgot everything, searching for his Dao in the boundless heaven and earth. Faintly, a blurred voice gradually emerged in his mind. The voice sounded like a whisper, slowly becoming clearer. Inscribed shadows, imprisoned by the path of heaven, all beings must endure the immeasurable tribulation, leave the deep prison of obsession, and break free from the world's confusion. The path of heaven, the cycle of life and death, all beings who cannot perceive the true Tao will be lost in the sea of suffering, eternally unable to reach the true path. Devote yourself to the cultivation of the Tao. All beings who cannot perceive the true Tao will be lost in the sea of suffering, eternally unable to reach the true path. This phrase echoed repeatedly in Wang Lin's mind. Gradually, the chaotic Tao concepts outside the valley became more numerous, spreading beyond 1,000 zhang, then 10,000, then 100,000. Eventually, they filled nearly half of the seven-colored realm. Sunzi's song, located 1,000 zhang away from the valley outside Sima Mo's cave mansion, was pale and fixed his gaze ahead. His body remained motionless. He had been here for 2 days, but before he could advance any further, he immediately sensed the overwhelming chaotic Dao concepts in the area. These Dao concepts were like a massive vortex, capable of absorbing all realms of understanding, pulling them into Wang Lin's affirmation through a special method. The distinction between truth and falsehood was the second transformation of Wang Lin's Tao. What he sought had already surpassed the insights of cultivators of the same rank and even those of higher cultivation. Sunzi Song's face lost all color. He sat cross-legged, stabilizing his mind, constantly resisting the intrusion of the surrounding chaotic Dao concepts in the invisible vortex. Unnoticed by him, in the distance, figures, bald with blank stares, emerged from the mist, slowly walking towards him. Their steps were slow, but with each one, they seemed to shrink the distance, soon approaching. But they didn't draw near. Instead, they stood there, gazing blankly ahead, as if listening to the Tao. Further away, the inscribed shadows, who had been floating within the mist, drifted out and headed towards the valley where Wang Lin was. The strange muttering voices followed. Everything revolved around the valley where Wang Lin resided, as the Dao ascension that spread across the entire seven-colored realm slowly unfolded. As the chaotic Dao concepts that Wang Lin abandoned continued to accumulate outside the valley, the entire seven-colored realm seemed to warp. The Lost Ones, hearing the Dao, grew increasingly confused, their gazes locked on the distance as they absorbed the invisible Dao concepts. The inscribed shadows arrived, floating in midair. The murmuring voices from countless ears ceased. They closed their eyes as if comprehending Wang Lin's Dao. Even the 12-rank fierce beasts, transformed from mist to various forms, sped through the sky, glowing with seven-colored light, circling the valley. Together with the inscribed shadows, they experienced Wang Lin's Dao. Wang Lin's life and death, the karmic cycle, the transformation between truth and illusion, each of these was a path he discovered on his own. Or perhaps, they were shifts in his thinking, from a quiet, unknown cultivator to where he stands now, able to stand among the strongest. This transformation marks the growth of Wang Lin's life. From the cycle of life and death, he saw through the illusion of mortality, which allowed him to struggle through one crisis after another, to find life within death. In doing so, he developed a rebellious heart, daring to defy the heavens and becoming a rebel practitioner. With stars above and the moon cleaved, stepping through the skies, this was the path of the rebel practitioner. Having seen through life and death, he no longer feared it. Everything he became was due to the obsession and thoughts brought to him by the concept of the cycle of life and death. It is because of thought that one becomes powerful. However, heaven and earth are indifferent, causing the spirits of all living beings to suffer. It is from the thoughts of all beings that the universe forms, giving rise to countless paths, allowing one to gain understanding. This is how the Tao grants all beings the opportunity to follow its will and cultivate. This is the path of the obedient, the road of conformity. But this is not the road Wang Lin walks. After life and death comes karma. After Wang Lin's first transformation, his thoughts reached an epiphany, similar to a great scholar in the mortal world. He no longer feared life and death, but sought the deeper truth of the Tao. The karmic cycle is as such. Having seen through the cause, understood the effect, and grasped that everything in the world follows this law of karma, Wang Lin's life reached a peak. As his thoughts ascended, he strengthened his Tao heart and deepened his Tao concept. The world in his eyes had already changed. Their heaven is not my heaven. To others, heaven and earth are vast, without an end in sight, searching aimlessly. But to Wang Lin, the end of heaven and earth is no longer the point. Heaven is the cause, and earth is the effect. In fact, heaven and earth themselves are a karmic cycle. What he must do is step beyond this cycle, to see what lies beyond this world. Having reached this step, Wang Lin's understanding had reached its limit, just as the circle he drew around Li Qianmei and Lu Yun from outside their bodies. In truth, he too was within the circle. However, with the appearance of Qinglin and the acquisition of the heaven-defying pearl, Wang Lin underwent another transformation after reaching the limit of the karmic cycle, his thoughts rising further, exploring the true nature of truth and illusion. The path of truth and illusion is a deeper understanding, one that ordinary people could never have the opportunity to touch. It has already touched the very edge of the Tao, and further progression would lead directly to its core. For countless years, there have been cultivators who reached this level of understanding, but they were few. Understanding determines cultivation, and the different depths of understanding can bring about earth-shattering changes in cultivation. What Wang Lin sought was the great Tao, and while his goal may seem the same as others, his understanding of the Tao had already led him beyond the goals of others. He consumed the medicinal liquid formed from 3 11-rank pills. His comprehension had not ended, but continued. In front of him, a storage rift moved with his thoughts, and vials of pills flew out. These pills were from Palai, and they contained 8th, 9th, and 10th ranks. Forgetting time, in his continuous enlightenment, Wang Lin picked up each pill. But he did not swallow them. As each pill neared him, it immediately shattered, its beast soul being sucked into the vortex formed by countless thoughts swirling around him, verified by Wang Lin. The conflicting Tao thoughts spread farther and farther, expanding in all directions. Outside the valley, the Lost Ones, whose eyes had once been filled with confusion, now showed a glimmer of clarity. The inscribed shadows, whose bodies had been intangible, gradually became more solid. The fierce beasts of the 12th rank, once full of murderous intent, no longer radiated such fury. Sunzi's song, struggling hard to maintain his mental composure within the storm of Dao thoughts, seemed on the verge of collapse. The Dao thoughts from the valley outside continued to grow. The entire seven-colored realm seemed to be filled with the discarded Dao thoughts of Wang Lin, distorting as if countless ideas were clashing within the seven-colored realm. Even the deepest parts of the seven-colored realm were affected. In his constant enlightenment, Wang Lin's soul began to float out of his body. He saw the valley where he was, saw the version of himself meditating there, and saw the pills before him, shattering one by one. His soul scattered slowly, spreading from the valley and outward. The closest inscribed shadows trembled as his soul passed over them. The lost ones and fierce beasts all reacted similarly. Even Sunzi Tsang's Dao heart collapsed, his face pale, confusion filling his eyes. None of this piqued Wang Lin's interest. His soul continued to spread, and he saw a strong man sitting cross-legged in a cave atop a mountain. The man's eyes were filled with terror as he stared ahead, unable to speak. It wasn't until Wang Lin's soul moved on that the man was able to recover from his shock. Wang Lin's consciousness spread across the entire outer perimeter, passing through various existing cave mansions, heading towards the circular mountain range, which resembled a wall. Along the way, he noticed a formation that fused the life and death seal with the annihilation seal, situated outside a valley beneath the mountains. He saw within the formation an old woman in green robes, meditating with her eyes closed, her face as pale as death. At this moment, her Dao heart was in turmoil, and it seemed as if she was on the brink of splitting. Her appearance was rapidly shifting, sometimes aging, sometimes full of hardship, and sometimes appearing middle-aged. The old woman didn't halt Wang Lin's consciousness, which continued to extend further into the mist within the circular mountain range. The dense fog did nothing to stop his mental spread, and he saw two mountains wrapped in a restriction veil within the mist. The time seal also failed to impede Wang Lin's consciousness, allowing him to penetrate into the first mountain. There was nothing inside except a stone tablet. The tablet was devoid of inscriptions, yet an aura of ancientness permeated the air. But in Wang Lin's eyes, that ancient aura gradually dissipated, and the stone tablet seemed to be a magical artifact. As his consciousness expanded, he moved towards the second mountain, which was also enveloped by the time seal. There, he saw a giant stone statue standing outside the mountain and a massive stone gate at the mountain's midsection, with a lightning mark on it. His mind passed through the stone gate and saw colorful lights floating inside. Each light contained a sealed beast soul, ranging from the 7th to the 13th rank, all present. He also noticed a young girl in this cave mansion, sitting cross-legged with a face as gray as death. She seemed to be in a trance, though her body trembled incessantly. In the mountain, Wang Lin also discovered a hidden space. Within it, he found the stone tablet again, and, beneath it, a half-buried skeleton nailed down by two colorful nails. At that moment, his consciousness was completely drawn to the skeleton, landing on the densely carved characters engraved on it. It was as though thunder rumbled in his mind, and Wang Lin, who had been calm as still water, was suddenly disturbed. His consciousness fixated on the skeleton, and the characters seemed deeply etched into his heart. The words, which echoed in his mind earlier, became clearer. In dedication to the cultivation. Wang Lin's mind wavered, and it was unclear how long it had been. Confusion overwhelmed him as he left the place and spread further, passing through the mist and into the deepest part of the seven-colored realm for the first time. There was also mist here, but it was even denser. However, it still couldn't stop Wang Lin's consciousness. He saw three young men with strange attire within the fog, especially one with a crescent moon totem on his forehead. He had seen him before. This place is truly mysterious. What feels especially strange is that here, I can feel the presence of my Lightning Thunder Clan's ancestors. The young man with the lightning mark on his forehead said slowly as he walked. The young man behind him, with a flame mark on his forehead, furrowed his brows and spoke in a solemn tone. It's indeed odd. Since entering here, I felt a call within my heart, especially with the clan emblem. It feels like it wants to leave my body. The last young man, with the crescent moon mark, carefully scanned the surroundings. His gaze flickered, and he was about to speak when his expression suddenly changed. As Wang Lin's consciousness swept past the three young men, at that moment, the young man with the lightning mark on his forehead shuddered. A thunderous roar rang in his mind, and the lightning mark on his forehead flashed violently. The young man beside him, with the crescent moon mark, seemed to recall something in a tremor but couldn't be sure. His face turned as pale as death, and his mind was in turmoil. The most shocked was the young man with the flame totem on his forehead. The moment Wang Lin's consciousness passed through him, his body seemed to lose all strength, and an indescribable awe surged through him. The flame totem on his forehead immediately ignited, as though it were burning his body to ashes. Fortunately, the feeling faded instantly, and with Wang Lin's departure, the pain was gone. After a long time, the three exchanged glances, all of them showing shock in their eyes. Such a strong consciousness. The young man with the lightning mark on his forehead gasped. There must be an ancestor of my Fire Sparrow clan here. That mental force just now is definitely from an ancestor. Otherwise, my clan emblem wouldn't have reacted like that. The young man with the flame totem spoke in a solemn tone, his face pale but his eyes gleaming with greed. Only the last one, with the crescent moon mark, remained silent. There was fear in his eyes. When Wang Lin's consciousness swept by, a scene from his memories, a nightmarish one he didn't want to recall, resurfaced. Could it be him? Impossible. How could he be here? The young man shuddered. Although this person's spirit is strong, if the three of us open the seal and work together, there might still be a chance. I hope both of you can lend me a hand. The young man with the flame totem on his forehead licked his lips and spoke slowly. Wang Lin's spirit arrived, but just as it was about to probe into the mountain peak, a powerful divine sense suddenly erupted from within the peak, charging towards Wang Lin's spirit. A silent rumble reverberated within Wang Lin's mind. His previously confused thoughts suddenly cleared in an instant. It's been a long time since I've seen such a pure concept. A sinister divine consciousness transmitted from the mountain peak, followed by an even more overwhelming divine sense sweeping out, directly heading toward Wang Lin. In that moment, the heavens and earth seemed to change color. Even the seven-colored light seemed to retreat. The divine sense turned into a large hand in midair, fiercely grabbing towards Wang Lin's mind. However, at the moment of the grasp, Wang Lin's spirit quickly contracted, and numerous illusions appeared around him, as if the entire world blurred in that instant. A soft gasp was heard, and at the same time, a white-haired elder flew out from the mountain peak, staring into the void. His body blurred as he shot out, raising his right hand to strike at the space ahead. The sound of booming echoed as Wang Lin's spirit trembled. The surrounding illusions instantly shattered and completely dissipated. How dare you use illusions in front of me? Since you've come willingly, then stay. This pure concept is 100 times stronger than any inscribed shadows. The elder spoke as he drew closer. His raised right hand seemed capable of covering the sky as it reached out to grab Wang Lin's mind. His palm contained an immense pulling force, distorting Wang Lin's spirit and rapidly drawing it in. Wang Lin's spirit rapidly contracted, but at that moment, an illusory figure appeared in the world around him. Staring at the elder, Wang Lin remained silent, his right hand flicking forward. Instantly, all the Dao concepts he had abandoned in this seven-colored realm surged into motion, rushing towards Wang Lin from all directions. The Dao concepts, countless in number, stirred the mist of the seven-colored realm, darkening the seven-colored light in the sky. Within an instant, the Dao concepts surrounding Wang Lin had already reached a terrifying level. With another flick of his right hand, these Dao concepts formed a massive vortex, and the elder's right hand, which had been grabbing towards him, suddenly halted. The elder's expression grew solemn. I was distracted by the concept while comprehending it, and did not intend to disturb your cultivation. This was unintentional. Wang Lin, surrounded by infinite Dao concepts, stood with his illusory form protected by many chaotic Dao concepts from all directions. The elder stared at Wang Lin's illusory form, his pupils constricting. He had never seen such a divine ability of the spirit that could condense so many chaotic Dao concepts. After a moment of silence, the elder coldly snorted and slowly spoke. This time, I'll let it slide, but it won't happen again. With a flick of his large sleeve, he returned to the mountain peak, retracting his divine sense. Wang Lin stepped back, and surrounded by countless Dao concepts, he swiftly crossed the ground and returned to his physical body within the valley. After a moment, he slowly opened his eyes. A cold glint flashed in his gaze. Had the elder insisted on leaving his divine sense behind, Wang Lin would have had no choice but to unleash all his Dao concepts in retaliation. Rising to his feet, Wang Lin raised his right hand, pointing towards the sky. In an instant, countless Dao concepts howled as they rushed into the valley, condensing towards Wang Lin's right hand. These Dao concepts roared through the seven-colored realm, stirring the heavens and earth. As they continued to gather, a black light orb appeared above Wang Lin's hand. After a short while, as Wang Lin comprehended the Dao, all the discarded Dao concepts were condensed into the black orb. At this moment, the lost ones outside the valley once again showed signs of confusion, scattering in all directions. The inscribed shadows also murmured once more, slowly drifting away. Even the fierce beasts of the 12th rank seemed to regain their clarity, roaring as they left the area. In the blink of an eye, everything outside the valley returned to normal. Sunzi Tsang's face turned pale as his body quickly retreated. Wang Lin grabbed at the black orb, which emitted a series of banging sounds, transforming into a black crystal, landing in his palm. Holding the crystal, Wang Lin carefully examined it. This item contained Dao concepts he had separated from countless pills, comparable to a very powerful magical artifact. Even a shattered nirvana cultivator would find it difficult to withstand, and if it exploded, the resulting Dao concepts could shatter their Dao heart. He's guarding something. Wang Lin pondered, his spirit sensing deep within the valley. The elder, at the final moment, seemed to have hesitated and therefore didn't take action. This elder had reached the late shattered nirvana stage but remained at the peak. Wang Lin couldn't believe it was simply a matter of guarding something or plotting something else. Also, those 3 young cultivators, one of them I've seen before. I didn't expect to find him here. Wang Lin furrowed his brow. Since this place is related to the Palm Sovereign, it's understandable that this person has appeared. Wang Lin looked up at the sky, his mind calm, his eyes deep, as though containing the Tao of heaven and earth. The moment I saw the scriptures on the skeleton, my concept broke through. With some time to consolidate, my cultivation will reach the mid-pure nirvana stage. Wang Lin took a deep breath, his gaze falling on the time barrier outside the valley, before standing up and walking out. The barrier rippled as Wang Lin's figure appeared outside the valley. He looked toward the direction in which Sunzi Tsang had fled, his eyes flashing, and his body moving like lightning. Sunzi Tsang's injuries have healed, and he's managed to find my location. This person hates me to the bone. This time, I cannot let him escape. Also, what is the liquid in the jade vial? The answer lies with him. Moreover, the method to leave here must also be found in his essence spirit. Wang Lin's eyes flickered with cold light as he pursued relentlessly. Sunzi Tsang sped forward, his face growing paler, his heart filled with rage. He had thought that, now that his injuries had healed, killing that Lu person would be a simple task. At most, there would be some trouble breaking the restrictions. But he never expected that he wouldn't even see his opponent's figure. Just stepping into 1,000 zhang radius immediately disturbed his Dao heart, shaking his mind to the brink of collapse. Especially when surrounded by the mixed Dao thoughts outside the valley, he felt like a lone boat in a storm, perilously close to disaster. When Wang Lin's divine sense swept over him, his mind shook violently. He vaguely guessed that, at that very moment, Wang Lin's concept had reached a breakthrough and that his cultivation was about to increase. Realizing this, a chill surged in Sunzi Tsang's heart. Before Wang Lin's cultivation advanced, he could only hope for a mutual destruction if they fought with all their strength. But now that Wang Lin was about to break through, if they fought again, he would surely die. Sunzi Tsang felt a bitter helplessness in his heart. He was ready to roar to the sky in frustration. After all these years of preparation, he had to admit that he had failed. There was no way to turn it around. If he continued to pursue it, he might even lose his life here. Unwilling, Sunzi Tsang's eyes burned with endless hatred. He hated Wang Lin so much that he wished he could tear him apart. This person destroyed my life's work, and that Zhao woman. If it weren't for her robbing me first, she wouldn't have given that Lu person the opportunity. Enough, enough. Sunzi Tsang's face twisted in anger, flames of fury burning in his eyes, but more than that, there was a sense of frustration and helplessness. I'm done for. If you want it, take it all. I'll leave the 7-colored realm and seal this place off completely, destroying the external 7-colored rift, trapping you here forever. You'll never escape. Only in this way can I vent my hatred. That Lu person killed Pang Ditsai, but he must have also searched his soul, otherwise, he wouldn't have known the exact location of Sima Mo's cave mansion. But even Pang Ditsai didn't know the real way to leave here. What he knew was only what I wanted him to know. You all will be trapped here forever. A cruel grin appeared on Sunzi Tsang's face as he hurriedly left, following a different path, heading toward where he usually departed. He had walked this path twice and was extremely familiar with it. If not for his fear of encountering the lost ones, his speed could have been faster. But as he raced forward, his body suddenly jolted. He quickly turned his head and saw, in the distance behind him, Wang Lin's figure flickering toward him. A killing intent immediately enveloped him, sending a chill through Sunzi Tsang's heart. He hastily quickened his pace, charging forward. Wang Lin's gaze locked onto Sunzi Tsang's figure. He raised his right hand and made a quick gesture, and the ancient god cauldron materialized around him. His eyes flashed, and he pointed at Sunzi from a distance. Swap positions. As soon as the words left his mouth, brilliant light flashed around Sunzi's body in the distance, blindingly bright. In an instant, Sunzi's vanished, and their positions were completely reversed. Sunzi's felt a blur before his eyes, and when he regained his senses, his expression changed drastically. Wang Lin had swapped places with him and appeared behind him without hesitation, charging straight toward him. Seizing the moment of Sunzi's disorientation, Wang Lin closed the distance. Wang Lin raised his right hand and pressed it forward into the void, his left hand quickly tapping his right palm. A massive surge of primordial energy roared to life, creating a wild impact that rushed towards Sunzi's. All of this happened in the blink of an eye, too fast to comprehend. Sunzi's never anticipated that Wang Lin possessed such a magical artifact. By the time he reacted, the overwhelming primordial energy was already on top of him. His pupils constricted, and with a piercing scream, his face twisted. 7 blood-colored nascent souls appeared, quickly forming on the blurred lightning mark between his brows. The mark suddenly emitted a blinding glow, transforming into a powerful force that shot toward the oncoming primordial energy. The deafening roar shook the heavens and the earth. Not far away, in a cave mansion on a mountain peak, Qin Tianjin of the beast-taming sect stepped out. He fixed his gaze on the battle between Wang Lin and Sunzi, letting out a sharp breath.